Welcome back to another episode of Political Pulse. I'm Olivia Quiles.
And I'm Emily Mole. Let's get right into it.
It was heated in the courtroom this week as closing arguments concluded in the murder trial of Brian Walsh.
Anna Walsh is dead. Anna Walsh is dead because he murdered her.
In the days after his wife's disappearance, evidence shows Walsh bought cleaning and cutting supplies to dispose of her body. He was even admitted doing so, however, there remains little to no direct evidence how Anna Walsh died. The prosecution is now asking the jury to convict him based on inferences that evidence shows motive of consciousness and guilt.
Democrats on the House Oversight Committee today released 19 new photos from the late sex offender Jeffrey Epstein's estate. House Democrats have released a new batch of photos from Jeffrey Epstein's estate, showing him alongside several high-profile figures, including Donald Trump, Bill Clinton, Steve Bannon, Bill Gates, Larry Summers, Woody Allen, and others. The committee says that the images do not show any illegal activity, but they do raise further questions about Epstein's relationships. A congressional deadline approaches for the Justice Department to release all Epstein-related files. This follows a series of court decisions requiring the release of grand jury records tied to earlier Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell investigations. Cities and towns in Massachusetts are facing budget problems because of rising costs and limited ways to raise money. The Massachusetts Municipal Association is asking the state for help. They are asking for $351 million more in state aid to support local budgets. They are also requesting more flexibility with Proposition 2.5, the law that limits how much property taxes can go up each year. Rather than repealing the law, the MMA wants voter-approved interest in altering Prop 2.5, though the MMA also supports a Healy proposal to let cities and towns increase local meals and lodging taxes.
Alston car wash employees described inhumane conditions while in custody from ICE this past week. Those who were released met with U.S. Representative Ayanna Pressley Monday night to discuss their experience.
Let's get the record straight. None of these people are criminal, illegal aliens. They are people deserving of dignity and respect.
Pressley described that some were unable to shower or eat for days, depriving them access to phone calls, medicine, and adequate food. She called it, quote, unlawful and unconstitutional. Those kept in prison ranged from a teenager to a 67-year-old man who recently lost his wife to cancer. None of the workers have a criminal record, and at the time of their arrest were denied the opportunity to retrieve documents that would prove their eligibility to work in the United States. Only 7 of the 9 employees have been released from custody as of now.
Representative South Moulton has introduced the NOME Act, a bill that would let people sue federal immigration agents for civil rights violation. Moulton says ICE officers currently have near total immunity, especially as the Supreme Court has limited other legal avenues for accountability. The proposal comes just days after he condemned inhumane conditions at the ICE Boston field office.
A church in Denham, Massachusetts is After this break, we'll talk national news and hear from our business correspondent.
Stick with us.
Jason, let's go see your room.
What do you think? We kept it a little spare, so you can decorate it how you like.
Dinner!
Go. Excellent. Yeah, I saw you guys out there. We're the family. Help him out, help him out. Yeah. Oh, I thought you were on my team. Wait.
Welcome back to Political Pulse. A federal judge ordered the release of Kilmar Abrigo Garcia, ruling that ICE had no legal basis to detain him after his wrongful deportation to El Salvador.
I wish I could say that with this, the government is going to leave well enough alone. This man has suffered enough.
Homeland Security condemned the decision and plans to appeal, while his lawyers expect further deportation attempts. He is also seeking to reopen his immigration case for asylum and faces a Tennessee criminal case that a judge suggested may be vindictive.
Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth declined to show a video showing a boat strike in the Caribbean. The attacks were carried out by the U.S. military, taking place on September 2nd, along with a follow-up strike that killed 2 survivors. The attack has recently garnered intense scrutiny on Capitol Hill, raising questions about its legality, and Wednesday the House approved a must-pass defense policy bill, which would advance lawmakers' efforts to force the release of the video. The legislation would withhold 25% of Hegseth's travel budget until he discloses all of his orders authorizing military personnel deployment since September. For more on business news, we go to our business correspondent.
Disney announced Thursday that it will buy a $1 billion stake in OpenAI. The company plans to bring its characters to the AI company's short-form video platform, Sora AI. A selection of videos made with Sora will be available to stream on Disney Plus as part of their 3-year deal. Users creating with Sora will be able to create videos with over 200 fan-favorite characters, such as Mickey Mouse, Cinderella, and Iron Man. The Warner Bros. Ownership wars continue. Billionaire Larry Ellison, father to chief executive of Paramount, David Ellison, is emphasizing that the money is no object when it comes to Warner Bros. Larry Ellison is worth a total of $273 billion. However, the Warner Bros. Discovery Board has expressed worry that Ellison did not personally guarantee the bid under his name. The company announced last week that it will sell to Netflix for $83 billion, rejecting the Paramount bid with the idea that the Netflix deal was better for shareholders. Medicine company Eli Lilly announced on Thursday that its next-generation obesity drug delivered what could be the highest weight loss in a late-stage trial yet. Lilly also added that knee arthritis pain was reduced significantly during the trial of the drug as well. The highest dose of the drug helped patients lose an average of 28.7% of their body weight after 68 weeks. Shares in Eli Lilly rose over 3% after the reveal of the trial results. The company expects to announce the findings from 7 additional Phase 3 trials by the end of 2026 and has dubbed this drug, quote, the Triple G drug. That's all I have for business news. Back to you guys at the desk.
Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth failed to authorize a standard damage assessment after sharing classified military plans in a Signal group chat, even though such reviews are standard for potential national security breaches. Instead, he focused on investigating suspected leakers on his staff, while the Pentagon and intelligence agencies declined to examine whether his disclosures compromised operations. An Inspector General report later found he had shared information marked as secret. Neither the Pentagon nor U.S. intelligence agencies pursued a broader review, an unusual break from protocol that critics say left potential security risks unexamined.
Be careful what you post. The U.S. is now planning to search tourists' social media history. According to a proposal filed by U.S. Customs and Border Protection, also known as CBP, travelers visiting from the U.S. from other countries including Britain, France, Germany, and South Korea could soon be subject to review of up to 5 years of their social media history. This change would also affect visitors eligible for the visa waiver program, which allows people from 42 different countries to travel to the U.S. for up to 90 days. The waiver authorization is good for 2 years, and in addition to social media checks, applicants are expected to upload selfies, which CBP said will improve their screening processes and identification.
Coming up, we talk international news.
Stick with us.
Jason, let's go see your room.
What do you think? We kept it a little spare, so you can decorate it how you like.
Dinner!
Go. Excellent. Suckers. Yeah, I saw you guys out there. We're the family.
Yeah!
Oh, I thought you were on my team. Wait.
Welcome back.
Venezuelan opposition leader Maria Corina Machado has left her country with U.S. support after more than a year in hiding and arrived in Norway to receive the Nobel Peace Prize.
I am very hopeful Venezuela will be free and we will turn a country into a beacon of hope.
Machado says she could face arrest if she returns to Venezuela, and she voiced support for U.S. actions aimed at pressuring President Nicolas Maduro. Her return to the international stage positions her as a key player in the escalating standoff between Washington and Maduro, though analysts say she faces a challenge turning global attention into change at home.
Hundreds of thousands of Australian teens awoke Wednesday to find their social media accounts to be logged out or deactivated. Under new Australian law, anyone under 16 is restricted from using social media apps. Prime Minister Anthony Albanese's centre-left government proposed the law, citing research showing mental health harms to teens due to overuse, misinformation, bullying, and harmful depictions of body image. Australia is the first country to ban social media use to teens. We now have our international correspondent, Daniel Lipoff.
Thanks, guys. Multiple countries will not be participating in the 2026 Eurovision Song Contest after the European Broadcast Union voted to allow Israel to participate in this year's contest. As of now, the full list of countries dropping out is Iceland, Slovenia, Ireland, Spain, and the Netherlands. Israel has taken part in Eurovision since 1973 and has won 4 times, most recently in 2018, and came in second place in 2025. The 70th anniversary of the international competition will be hosted in Vienna, Austria, and with the dropouts of several countries, the EBU is beginning to seek other participants to fill the empty roster space. At least 13 inmates are dead after an explosive device detonated outside an Ecuadorian prison. This is not the first time something violent has occurred at this specific prison, though. The Malacha prison has been plagued by violence in just the past year, and just last month, 2 clashes between rival gangs left at least 31 inmates dead, including 27 who died from asphyxiation. And in September, another violent incident left at least 14 inmates dead, along with a prison guard who was shot and killed inside the cells. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky met with Pope Leo in Rome as Kiev is getting ready to send refined proposals to the U.S. in ending the war with Russia. Zelensky thanking the Pope for the visit and, quote, all of the attention given to our people. Experts say this might be a sign of the relationship between the two countries warming, and just only 2 months after Zelensky's disastrous meeting at the White House when Trump said that he wasn't grateful enough for the U.S. That's all for international news. Back to you guys at the desk.
Bulgaria's Prime Minister Rosen Ziliaskov has resigned following massive nationwide protests over corruption and a controversial budget, saying he was responding to the voice of the people. Tens of thousands of Bulgarians, including many young people, took to the streets demanding an end to corruption and stronger judicial independence. Ziliatskov's resignation makes him the 6th prime minister in 5 years, leaving the country in political uncertainty as it prepares to adopt the euro on January 1st.
In a deadly border conflict, hundreds of thousands of Thailand and Cambodian residents fled in refuge after a wave of fighting took place. At least 10 people were killed and nearly 24 injured, and thousands displaced. This decades-old border dispute erupted again in deadly fighting. Thai Navy said it had conducted, quote, military operations to expel Cambodian forces that had encroached on Trat province, the region being focus of a dispute that took place earlier this year.
We're not fully convinced that the joint declaration is working according to its intention. I think this is something that we have to work out with Cambodia.
Stuff the Sleigh in Avon, Massachusetts was a major success, collecting nearly 10,000 gifts and raising $13,000 for the local nonprofit Christmas in the city. Volunteers and community members donated toys and funds to help bring holiday cheer to children and families in need. All contributions will go directly to supporting Christmas in the city's efforts this holiday season.
That's all for this week's episode of Political Pulse.
Join us next time and make sure to follow WEBN Political Pulse on Instagram and subscribe to WEBN Boston on YouTube.